today interviewing Harrison R. Miller. Hello Harrison, how are you doing?
Good, thank you.
We are here to interview him about his upcoming book, A Walk on the Beach, A Day in My Life. So tell us more about what's your book about.
We can edit that part out. Well, my life, James, it interviews myself, kind of a sky view of myself, going through my daily activities in my beautiful Hawaiian villa in Hawaii.
Oh. So how long did you live in Hawaii, without of course revealing too much about your book?
Oh, I've recently moved there. I've been there about 6.5 months. I mainly got the money to do it from my other two major book successes. Maybe you've heard of them. Under a Volcano and On Top of the Moon.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, those were both great big hits.
Yeah, interesting. Tell us a little bit more about your first two books.
Oh, right, my first two books. The first one, Under a Volcano, explored the rancid life of a rock who couldn't move, couldn't feel, couldn't see. Actually, see, this is where I changed the thing. Most artists, when they write about a rock, it can't see, it can't move, it can't feel. This time, I wrote as the rock having a psychic sense. So it could see and feel what was around it, it just couldn't move. And the rock got jostled around because it was under a volcano. Now, it was a singularity rock, it was just a rock, it wasn't attached to anything. Just a pebble or a stone, big the size of your fist. And it moved under a volcano. And my book explores the life of the rock under the volcano.
Oh, that's very interesting. I'll give that a read.
And then 500,000 copies.
Wow, nice. And your second book?
My second book, On Top of the Moon, explores the possible myth, I guess you might call it, about how, you know, that recent movie that came out, Apollo 18, I believe, it posed some serious thoughts and ideas about there being something haunted on the moon. And my book, On Top of the Moon, explains the haunted stuff from a first-person view of the haunted thing that's on top of the moon. Now, obviously, I had very little detail to go on, so I ended up improvising quite a bit.
Oh.
And that's what made my book so revolutionary, because the haunted thing, I actually put in its own psyche, and I made this entirely new psyche just about the haunted thing.
Mm-hmm. So, it says here on this paper that you're a leading activist in video game rights.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, I believe that video games are a part of expression. If you want to play happy, you know, go build a house, go bake a cake, go build a garden, video games, that's wonderful. That is expressing your inner self through material video game world. However, if you want to go blow up a bunch of orcs or slice through a bunch of undead with a major uber axe, that's fine too, because that is also expressing some of your inner, deeper feelings, plus it's great fun while doing it. Recently, the state of California, I believe, tried to pass something banning violent video games, and I was a top activist against that.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yes,
I myself too am a fan of video games.
Ah, yeah.
Alright, well, now we have some fan questions. Oh boy, can I stand one of these? Alright, moving down. Wow, these are some really appropriate questions. Down and down the list. How do you get your hair spiked so well?
Oh,
From
okay.
YouTube user Firefelly Flop.
Alright. Well, see, here, Firefelly Flop, how I get it spiked so well is usually I don't shower for weeks on end, and I like to grow it out while cutting the stuff that would make my hair look long, but leaving the stuff that goes straight up. You know, cutting this stuff, but leaving this stuff. And then, usually, I either spike it up like that with just a touch of water, like you run your hands under a faucet and just mess it up like that, and then you either put on a 1980s fedora or a stocking cap. Either one will work. If you're going to use the fedora, it has to be 1980s stuff. Make sure that point there.
Well, I think you just answered the next two questions.
Oh, wonderful!
Which were, why do you smell so bad, and what year fedora would you recommend? But...
That's a good question, huh? Wow. What a compliment.
I know. Anyway, another question from YouTube user Grub in a Tub. What is your favorite pastime?
I'm sorry, I'm not. I know I'm an author, but my education wasn't very good. What's a pastime?
A pastime is something you do to pass time, or something, a
Oh,
hobby, or
there
something
you
that
go. Okay,
entertains you.
the name makes sense. That always has confounded me for the longest time. Alright, my favourite
Very
pastime, well, I have several. I don't know exactly which one is my favourite. I love cats. I like to snuggle and be with cats. So that's one, I guess. I also like playing video games. Usually the video games that you have to invest in, like Skyrim, you know, massive role-playing games like that, where you just have a free world. You have to invest in it. You can't just start over and go around, you know, just like Call of Duty, where you just start and you shoot people and then you're done. Yeah. That's another one. I also like reading books to get ideas about novel literacy hints and stuff like that. And I like shooting weapons. I like eating food. You know, I guess pastime is kind of a global reference because everything passes time. So pretty much everything I do is a pastime. So that'd be a long list. So let's not go there for now.
Right.
But I would write a book about it if I get some.
Well, that's one of our next questions. Is do you have any upcoming books that you're planning?
Upcoming books besides A Walk on a Beach Day in My Life. Right?
Yeah.
None in the works right now. Of course, since I'm a creative fantasy writer, author, I usually just have thousands of ideas. Sometimes I'll get an idea on the bus, or at home, or swimming, or sailing, or shooting, or snuggling a cat. I'll just get an idea, I'll grab a piece of paper, and I'll write down a rough sketch. I do have a couple of ideas that I think will soon prove very big, you know, very big actually. I have a screenplay for a movie, and I actually think that's going to succeed. I really think it will, because it's a novel idea. I've searched around and no one else has had this idea. It's fairly original. It's this idea that it's the original name, of course, that can be modified due to who's producing the movie. You know, it's just one that popped up in my head, and that's the one I've been keeping so far as I've been writing down the screenplay. It's called The Planetarians, and it's where, you know, some off in the distant later future, the Earth has just become like sapped and destroyed of all her mother nature qualities, and you know, it's just going downhill. Everything's downhill. The companies are dragging oil out of the ocean. The environment's dying. People are dying from the death of the environment. So forth and so with. And then this insanely this group of visionaries decide to get together, recruit some of the richest people on Earth, and get together and literally terraform an entire continent, which would probably be the USA, excluding Mexico, and Antarctica, and Canada.
A little racy, but it's alright. Everybody likes a little racy.
That's not racy, it's just too big and you make it unrealistic, you know? So they decide to terraform this entire country. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna make this massive scare. They're gonna start slow, of course. That's why I think the movie will take roughly 5 to 10 hours to truly express itself. So I think we're gonna start slow, and they're gonna just end up by, I don't want to reveal too much of the story because it might actually be a huge hit, but they're just gonna start by taking over stuff. And, you know, controlling the media, starting to control the government. Yeah, controlling the media, right? Media control. Who ever thought of media being controlled, right?
Besides our government, of course.
Oh, yes. Well, they've already tried, but they failed. Yeah.
Anyway.
And so, yeah, I really think that idea is going to flourish once I get it up and out there. And this interview will probably help. So, yeah.
Do you? Alright, well, our last question we have here is from Anonymous. Anonymous. That's a weird username.
Four anonymous?
3 anonymous.
3. Alright. Huh.
Alright, it's... In a recent interview, you talked about the possibility of a new cat coming into your life. And the users want to know a little more about that.
Well, it's definitely a new cat. I'm really excited about it. A couple of my old ones are slowing down. Mostly just wanting to sleep, not so much play anymore. Of course, I still pay really avid attention to my old ones, you know, really give them the stuff they would desire. It's not so much. So I kind of start getting a gap in my life like that. So I've decided to get a kitten from the local humane society, basically, aka the Pound, because, you know, they're kind of just taking in cats and keeping them alive for free, and, you know, it gives kind of back to the cat community to get one from there instead of, like, buying one off some high posh site or just getting free ones off of a litter. Plus all the, you know, medical stuff's already taken care of. I never had the stomach to do that myself.
Ew.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
and so,
I've tried giving shots to a cat before.
No, I'll bet you have. Well, and so anyway, it's going to be a new kitten. I haven't decided on a name or a colour yet, but I know it's going to be a new kitten, and I don't think gender matters at this section. But right now, the cat is kind of in a small stages of development, so I don't have too many answers for you right now. Sorry, but sooner or later I will, and then you can hit me up on my blog or my Facebook page.
Cool. Right. Well, that's all the questions and time we have.
Oh yeah.
Alright, so Utopia, this has been Channel 12 News with Harrison R. Miller. Have a good one.
Yeah, bye.